This is QTV News coming to live from our studios on Kairaba Avenue, and I am Ashma Oba. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. At the invitation of Warwick University, the Gambia's First Lady Fatoumata Bah Barrow, accompanied by the Higher Education Minister, Professor Pierre Gomez, addressed the Warwick University Africa Summit in Coventry, the United Kingdom. The Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmadu Lamin Samate, has presided over the opening of the Validation Forum of the National Trauma and Injury Plan. In business news, on Saturday, 17 students graduated at IDA's Ideas Fashion and Design Training Institute after completing a 2-year diploma course in fashion and design. In international news, in a surprise announcement of provincial results in the Nigeria's presidential elections, Peter Obi of the Labour Party has narrowly defeated the ruling party's Bola Tinubu in one of his supposed strongholds of Lagos. In sports news, the Gambia Cycling Association over the weekend organized a cycling competition in Banjul called the Tour of Banjul and sponsored by QCell. Those were my headlines. Now the news in detail. At the invitation of Warwick University, the Gambia's First Lady Fatoumata Bah Barrow, accompanied by the Higher Education Minister, Professor Pierre Gomez, addressed at the Warwick University Africa Summit in Coventry, the United Kingdom, on Saturday. Alusise reports.
The Warwick Africa Summit is an annual student-led interdisciplinary conference on the development of the African continent. The first summit was held in 2018. The theme for this year's summit is "A Thousand Begins with One," highlighting the value and power each individual has in creating impact on the continent. In her address to a sizable audience of young men and women, First Lady Fatoumata Bah Barrow, who was joined at the summit by the Gambia's High Commissioner to the United Kingdom, Fatou Bensouda, and High Commission staff, thanked the organizers for recognizing her humanitarian work and extending an invitation to her to be the keynote speaker. She believes the forum will create a platform to share experience to help address the challenges confronting the continent. She used the occasion to share with the audience what her foundation has been doing to empower marginalized groups in society who need global efforts to help amplify their voices.
My wish is to see women, girls, and all marginalized groups at the forefront of our nation's development agenda. Women form an important part of our nation's peace and development process and must be empowered enough to undertake their responsibilities, and it is a positive way of starting their life journeys.
The organizers praised her interest in the development of girls and women through her foundation in collaboration with key stakeholders. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cissé.
The Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmadu Lamin Samate, on Monday presided over the opening of the validation meeting of the National Trauma and Injury Plan, prepared by his ministry and stakeholders. Loli M. Kamara covered the ceremony, and she filed this report.
The Trauma and Injury Plan draft document, when finalized and implemented, is expected to reduce deaths and disabilities resulting from injury. According to Dr. Keba S. Marina, orthopedic surgeon at the Edward Francis Moore Teaching Hospital, the document will also represent a coordinated network of healthcare facilities strategically linked to enhance the care of injured persons to reduce mortality and morbidity. He said road traffic accidents are not the only common injuries in the country, but there are other forms of injuries such as workplace injuries, falls from heights, assaults and sports injuries, which are also becoming increasingly common.
Between 2020 and 2021 November, and we recorded, this is EFSGH alone, recording over 100 serious injuries per month and over 1,200 in that 1 year period. And during that 1 year period, we averaged about 17 deaths per month, so over 200 for the 1 year period. The majority of these were below the age of 25, mostly male, over 60%.
Keba S. Bojan, the program manager for the National Cancer Control Program at the Ministry of Health, said the Ministry of Health with stakeholders have made efforts to have such a document as this since 2019, given the urgency and recognition of the need to improve care for the injured. Dr. Claude Martin Jr., the director of AO Alliance, said he is pleased to join other experts in the country to support the Ministry of Health to develop the National Trauma and Injury Plan. Dr. Desta Chireni, the WHO country rep, points out some of the quick response services that could be critically investigate while they discuss the document.
The promoting access to timely pre-hospital care is also very important. We have to look into when people get injured. They might be by the roadside. They could be in a very remote place. All those requires, that pre-response before they come to the emergency room.
The Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmadou Lamine Samate, revealed that injuries are one of the leading causes of morbidity and mortality in many countries of the world, including the Gambia, adding that within 5 years from 2017, the number of traumas in our major hospitals were about 5,000, and in 2021, it came close to 9,000, with most of the injuries being from road traffic accidents.
The caliber of vehicles that ply the roads need to be looked at. Too often than not, it is the commercial vehicles, the gele-geles, that are filled to the brim, usually overloaded, and those would have been vehicles designed to actually convey goods, and they are transformed to become human carriers. Some people in some other parts of the world call moving caskets.
Research shows that road traffic crashes are predicted to be the 5th leading causes of death by the year 2030. In the Gambia, it is already one of the leading causes of death. So, considering the seriousness of the matter, as the Ministry of Health and partners gathered to discuss this document, it is hoped that the elements in the plan will be implemented. For QTV News, Lolly M. Kamara.
That story by Lolly M. Kamara will lead us to business news in a moment. On Saturday, 17 students have graduated at IDES Ideas Fashion and Design Training Institute after completing a 2-year diploma course in fashion and design. Mohamed Balde was there and he now reports.
This is the second graduation ceremony at IDES Ideas Fashion and Design Training Institute. Located near the Independence Stadium in Bakau, the institute supports and promotes women's empowerment and skills acquisition for self-employment and sustainability, and seeks to contribute to the socio-economic development of the Gambia. The event was attended by cabinet ministers, entrepreneurs, guests, and members of the community. Ida Saint Conte, CEO of IDES Ideas, thanked her partners and their dignitaries for their presence at the event.
Honorable guests, Honorable Minister Fatou Kinte, the new Honorable Baji, my brother, the new Honorable Yifineka Yip.
Chan Mendy, Principal and Managing Director of IDES Ideas Training Institute, commended the students for their hard work and commitment to learning.
We are very proud today to introduce to the world our humble graduates. They have worked extremely hard to gather the necessary knowledge to take them this far. A lot have started the journey with them, but majority couldn't take the pressure of hard work or ready to sacrifice a lot to become knowledgeable in this field.
Fatou Kinte, the Minister of Gender, spoke about the incredible efforts by the Institute and its potential for growth.
This training center, this academy, is one of its kind in the Gambia. A lot of people are in the fashion industry, but training young ladies to certificate and diploma levels, this is the first of its kind. And I strongly believe that it can compete with others outside the country, because she has values that she has installed in her, in this institution.
Unexpectedly but appreciated by the graduates, some of the dignitaries pledged financial support towards the purchase of equipment for the graduates to start their businesses. Abdoulaye Touré, president of the Sahel Group, said his organization will contribute 50% of the cost of a sewing machine for each of the graduates. Bakari Baji, the Minister of Youth and Sports, also pledged his ministry's support of 25% towards the cost of equipment. Talib Ahmed Bensouda, mayor of KMC, also pledged $10,000 from his council to each of the graduates to support them in their businesses.
KMC, under my leadership, will dedicate $10,000 to each of you to help you buy your first sewing machine. It is not a gift. It is not a gift. It is our obligation to support youths like yourself. And I want to urge all Gambians in public office, all Gambians who are capable, to ensure that people like yourselves are not only supported, but showcased, because we need to encourage more youths to follow this footstep.
The ceremony also featured a fashion show where students showcased their creative skills. Certificates were awarded to graduates at the end of the event. Reporting for QTV News, Mohamed Balde.
Congratulations to all, to all of them. Okay, we'll now go for a short commercial break, but when we return, we have more local, international, as well as sports news. Don't go away.
In executing its mandate of collecting revenue for national development in a fair and transparent manner, the GRA will recognize and award compliant taxpayers who consistently file their returns and pay their taxes on time and present original and authentic customs documents at the annual Taxpayers Award ceremony. The 5th edition of the annual Taxpayers Award ceremony will take place on Saturday, March 4th, 2023 at the Kairaba Beach Hotel, commencing at 7:30 p.m. This important event will be graced by the President of the Republic of the Gambia, His Excellency Mr. Adama Barrow, the executive and members of the business community. A memorable event is assured by the GRA. GRA is your GRA. GRA is our GRA, collecting revenue for national development. The 5th edition of the annual Taxpayers Award, a night to appreciate and celebrate our esteemed taxpayers.
To make sure your company's products and services reach your potential customers, it is essential that you choose the right channel for your marketing purposes. QTV has the widest reach locally and beyond, and we can give your business the visibility it needs. Call QTV Marketing on +220 324 4444 or email us at marketing@qtv.gm and take your business to the world.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News. Now, Child Fund the Gambia launched a 3-year pilot project on Saturday dubbed School-Based Violence Prevention to stop violence against children in schools. The event was launched in Jambanjeli in the West Coast region. Lena E. Igwenyiba reports.
The School-Based Violence Prevention Project aims to tackle and reduce violence, particularly against girls, and create safe and conducive environment for children's well-being and education, enabling them to strive for excellence. Bintu Fati, Director of Children Affairs at the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, applauds the initiative.
The launching of the Sexual Gender-Based Violence Prevention in Schools by Child Fund the Gambia is a laudable initiative and will go a long way in complementing the efforts of Gambia government in protecting children against sexual gender-based violence in schools, and will reinforce children and communities' participation in their own welfare, as prevention plays a central role in efforts to eradicate and remove root causes of gender-based violence in school.
According to the WHO, children exposed to violence and other adversities are substantially more likely to smoke, use alcohol and drugs, and engage in high-risk sexual behavior. They also have higher rates of anxiety, depression, other mental health problems, and suicide. Famara Dabo, Program and Sponsorship Director at Child Fund, speaks on the organization's strategic plan.
Child Fund's organizational strategy focuses on the holistic development of children, which enables the organization to examine the interactions of the different factors that will enhance the life, survival, and development of children. This strategy is backed by evidence gathered through our global monitoring activities, especially those around violence against children. The strategy highlights the organization's life stage approach to programming with clearly defined outcomes of each of the life stages. Life stage 1 focuses on ensuring that infants are secure and healthy, whilst life stage 2 promotes education and confidence building among children.
Children are said to be the cream of society and the leaders and decision makers of the future. Yet globally, it is estimated that up to 1 billion children aged 2 to 17 have experienced physical, sexual or emotional violence or neglect in the past year. Usman Bojang, governor of the West Coast region, underscored the challenges that hinder girls' advancement, urging parents to support their children.
We need to give these kids the opportunity to be who they are. And I don't know if anybody is keeping track, but I can tell you, statistically, the girls are doing far better than boys in any educational sector you go to, including science, engineering, and technology. So this goes to all our parents to understand that for this world to work better, we need these girls. We have to treat these girls, give them the more equal opportunity, if not more opportunity, to make a better life, and we'll have a better country.
The school-based violence prevention project is being piloted in Jambanjeli Lower Basic School and Quranic Illumination Center, a conventional and Arabic school. After being implemented successfully, the project is expected to be incorporated into the school curriculum. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena E. Gwenyiba.
And also prevent child sexual abuse.
That story by Lena takes us to international news in a moment. In a surprise announcement of provisional results in the Nigeria's presidential elections, Peter Obi of the Labour Party has narrowly defeated the ruling party, Bola Tinubu, in one of his supposed strongholds of Lagos, Nigeria's biggest city. Alusise reports.
According to the BBC, this is the first time since 1999 that a party led by Tinubu, a two-time Lagos governor, has not won the state. Tinubu won his southwestern strongholds of Ondo, Ekiti, and Kwara, but narrowly lost to Atiku Abubakar of the main opposition People's Democratic Party in Osun State, according to the results announced by the state election officials. Atiku has also narrowly won the election in Katsina, the home state of outgoing President Muhammadu Buhari. More than 93 million people were eligible to take part in this tightly contested election. The ruling APC and the PDP have dominated Nigeria since the end of military rule in 1999. A candidate needs to have the most votes and 25% of ballots cast in 2/3 of Nigeria's 36 states to be declared the winner. Otherwise, there will be a runoff within 21 days. Many voters have accused electoral officials of refusing to upload the results at the polling units as they are supposed to. Officials complained of a lack of internet in some places to upload the results, but voters have shared videos and images shared where INEC officials refuse to upload the results. It must be noted that election officials have said they are only required by law to physically deliver final results and that the uploading was done as an additional service. There have also been reports of disturbances at INEC collection centers in some states, with some political parties on Sunday asking their supporters to go to such places to protect their votes. Peter Obi's Lagos win is evidence of predictions that this is likely to be a tight race. Reporting for QTV News, I am Alusise.
Also in international news, a wooden boat carrying about 200 migrants from Turkey on Sunday sank off the coast of Italy, killing at least 59, including 12 children and a baby, with dozens more missing. More in this report by Ansumane Sonyase.
The migrants are said to be from Afghanistan, Pakistan, Somalia and Iran. Italian Coast Guard said 80 people had been found alive, including some who managed to reach the shore after the sinking. And as emergency and aid workers recover bodies from the beach at the nearby seaside resort in the Calabria region, as many as 30 people are still missing. Authorities are yet to establish the exact number of people who were on the boat, which had sailed from Turkey several days ago. However, rescue workers fear more than 60 people unaccounted for, and that the figure might reach as high as 100. And while Italy's president said many of the migrants were fleeing very difficult conditions, his Pakistani counterpart, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, described the news as deeply concerning and worrisome, and instructed Pakistan's diplomats to ascertain facts as early as possible. Video footage shows timber from the wreckage that had been smashed into pieces, washing up on the beach, along with parts of the hull. Survivors are seen under blankets, attended by Red Cross workers, and some have been taken to hospital for medical attention. Narrating how the incident unfolded, survivors said the boat collided with the reefs in wind-whipped seas. Italian authorities, including Interior Minister and the mayor of Crotone, visited the scene and called the incident an enormous tragedy. He said that in solidarity, the city will find places in the cemetery for the dead. Pope Francis also expressed sadness over the incident and offered to pray for the dead, the missing and the survivors, as well as rescuers. Meanwhile, the UN also released a statement over the global body described as a huge tragedy and called for collective action against human trafficking. In 2022, Europe saw its highest migration numbers in 6 years, with some 105,000 migrants arriving in Italian shores, some 38,000 more in 2021, according to Interior Ministry figures. The sinking occurred at a time when migration to Europe, and to Italy in particular, is spiking despite years-long efforts by leaders to cut off flows by building walls, using surveillance and sometimes employing force. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jenna Basonko.
Such a very sad situation there. We pray that those that lost their life, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them a Jannah. And of course, for those that are missing, be found as soon as possible. Let's take a look at sports news. Now, the Gambia Cycling Association over the weekend organized a cycling competition in Banjul, sponsored by QCell, called the Tour of Banjul. Jenna Basonko reports.
The cycling competition started at the Never Again Memorial Arch in Banjul, then a tour of the city 3 times and back to the arch. Cycling is not currently as popular as sport in the Gambia as it used to be many years ago. Aliu Jeng, winner of this year's Tour of Banjul, says he is ready to represent the Gambia internationally if given the opportunity.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, I thank God. Yeah, and my teammates, they do the work for me. Yeah, first lap and the second lap, they were doing the work for me. So at the end, I see opportunity, I grab it, Yeah, then one of the fellow cyclists followed. Yeah, and it was hard before he catch up. Yeah, so I was giving all I have. And it was 2 of us on the lead, Yeah, until the last ending point, I beat him. It was just a strategy,
Cycling in the Gambia is a male-dominated sport, but Aissatou Mende is determined to change that narrative by participating in the competition. Although she didn't make it to the finish line, her fellow participants applauded her for her courage in participating.
I feel very happy, yeah. If I'm going to school, I used to drive bicycle. That's why I don't feel pain much. That's why.
So what do you have to tell your fellow women who feel that this sport is not for women?
I want them to come and join also, so that them to try. It's not easy, but just try. God is great. If God gives you, you'll have what you need.
Ibra Tal, who organized the competition, says with the right support, the competition will be staged annually.
Our time is gone now. We're the veterans. These are the upcoming ones, so we're paving the way for them. That's why I'm struggling so that I can see cycling revival in the Gambia again. Because our time, when we used to start from Sibanor or Buyam to here, one of the veterans is here. It used to be like a president coming. Both sides of the roads used to be packed full of people, jam-packed all the way to McCarthy Square. And it's sad to see that cycling is dead now. So I'm here to revive it, and I'm appealing to the president. I met the president, and I told the president that I want to revive the cycling, and I want the Gambia to have a tour of the Gambia.
Cycling is a very popular sport around the world and attracts a lot of spectators, especially during the events like the Tour de France, which brings together over 12 to 15 million people every year. As with many sports, the Gambia has a cycling talent but lacks the financial support to progress in the sport. The competition was sponsored by QCell as part of its corporate social responsibility. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jenna Basonko.
That's it for the news, but before we go, a recap of our main news headlines. At the invitation of Warwick University, Gambia's First Lady, Fatoumata Bah Barrow, accompanied by the Higher Education Minister, Professor Per Gomez, addressed the Warwick University Africa Summit in Coventry, the United Kingdom. The Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmadou Lamin Samate, has presided over the opening of the validation forum of the National Trauma and Injury Plan. On Saturday, 17 students have graduated at IDES Ideas Fashion and Design Training Institute after completing a 2-year diploma course in fashion and design. In international news, in a surprise announcement of provisional results in the Nigeria's presidential election, Peter Obi of the Labour Party has narrowly defeated the ruling party's Bola Tinubu in one of his supposed strongholds of Lagos. In sports news, the Gambia Cycling Association over the weekend organized a cycling competition in Banjul called Tour of Banjul and sponsored by QCell. That's all for this news edition. Join us at 10 p.m. for more news. Thanks for watching.